Hello and welcome to Sharon King Worldwide Book Club. Today we have author Gerald D. Johnson with us. We are so happy for you being a part of our book club. Thank you and welcome, Gerald. He is
Thank you so
the
much.
author of Alabama Sunrise. How are you doing today?
I am doing fine. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be a part of the book club. How you doing, Miss Sharon?
I am doing great. I have no complaints. It's a beautiful day, extremely windy, a little on the cool side, but we are here. We're counted, and I am so blessed. Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you. You mentioned it was humid over there earlier when we was talking.
oh yes, it doesn't feel like fall at all right now.
No,
It's so
you know what? So
unfair.
much is going on. You can't even tell the seasons apart. You
Right.
can't even tell. Yeah. So let's talk about your book. I'm so excited. Tell the world who you are.
Yes, my name is Gerald D. Johnson. I am from Mobile, Alabama. I'm a writer. I'm an author. I've been an author since 2013, since I published my first book. Um, so far, I have three in the works: Unbreakable Bond. And then I have a children's novel, The After My Storm, and the one that we're going to highlight today, Alabama Sunrise, which is personally my favorite.
That, you know what? I love Alabama Sunrise, and there's so much to talk about. Let's talk about this book because everybody have to purchase this book. This is the book. I fell in love with your book, Darlene Walker.
Ooh.
Get into you know, we're not gonna get into full detail,
Right.
but just enough for everyone to know that this is the book. You must purchase this book.
Got to. Especially if you're from Alabama. Come on now, we got to represent. But it's for all over the world. It's for all over the world, you know.
Yes,
So
yeah,
I'm
Alabama is in
excited.
the house. What made you write this book?
I wanted to target generational curses, family secrets. One of the main issues where we all heard home is where the heart is.
Yeah.
And in this particular case, everyone around this time goes to the house. You know, their mom had so many kids, but particularly every time around springtime, the family will come in with issues and they're trying to get their burdens out. They're carrying these baggages with them. And each and every one of the children, they're all adults, come to the home and try to talk to their mom, like what's really going on, you know, and
Mhm.
just trying to find something, an answer so that they can move on with their lives. So no matter how old they are, they still have that child inside of them that they need for it to come out. So that was part of the reason why I wrote the book, and I wanted to just be as blunt as possible because the family dysfunctional, the family is outspoken. So you know, when I was writing, I'm like, I can't believe this person said this, but it is what it is. You know, when I wrote it, I wanted to be as authentic as possible, from the people that I know, from the people how my people talk, my family talk sometimes, and I was like, oh my goodness, did you see it like that? Yeah, I did. It's always that outspoken family member, um, and then there's just a diversity in it all. So that was one of my main goals was to why people keep secrets. You know, they keep secrets selfishly. They keep secrets because they think they're protecting the person, but they're really doing someone a disservice. And that's what they did in the book for Darlene Walker. They kept a secret from her because they wanted to hold on to her, and she's the mediator of the family in a sense, you know. So much chaos is going around her, but she forgets about the peace that's inside of her that's erupting. She wants an answer, and many times she said, "Well, I'm just content," but she's not really content. Um, because she felt like she has to be that backbone. So they're leaning on Darlene, and Darlene wants to break free. So eventually, she gets her freedom.
That you mentioned so much about secrets, about trauma, about dysfunction. I think a lot of that is still going on now. Do you think it has to do with shame on the family?
I think it has a lot to do with shame on the family. And even with Ruth, the character Ruth, she feels so much shame, to the fact that one time she even said that, you know, she said her smartest child was the child that she lost
Mhm.
because she felt so unworthy to even be loved or how to love. And even when, good things were, she heard her son is going to come back and, take her, not telling too much of the book or trying not to, but she even felt like she didn't deserve that. So I want people to understand that even though you have messed up in your life, you're trying to get yourself together, but don't punish yourself, because
Mhm.
Ruth was a victim of generational curse that was passed on to her. In the book, it describes she doesn't want to be like her mom, but yet everybody says she like her mom. And you go further, the mom doesn't want to be like her dad, but she's just like her dad. So it's like a generational curse. So I want people to enjoy life. You're working on yourself every day, and she's working on herself, but she felt like she don't deserve anything good. And you do deserve something good, because I don't like to say life is, because one of the meanings of the book, I don't like to say life is short. I like to say life is precious. And so she had to find herself in the midst of everything that was going on, but she was getting it together. And I don't think she gave herself enough credit for trying.
Mm. You know, sometimes because you have been through so much in life and no one is there to cheer you on or remind you that you're doing your best. And also too, self-love have a lot to do with it. And as you mentioned, the generational curse, something that we don't talk about and just keep on repeating itself. So it's happening now. It's happened in the book. It's happening in real life. And this is something we really need to talk about, because if we talk about it, we know how to stop what's going on.
Yes. And particularly like Darlene, she looks at the flowers and she compares her life to those flowers. They will wither away in the winter and they will come back in the spring and they will revive. That's why the book says her reviving moment, because
Yeah.
she used to be like, oh, like these flowers, I want to be like those flowers. I want to bloom. When am I going to blossom?
Mhm.
So that was another point that I was trying to make in the book that I hope I achieved, and
You did.
everything.
You did. You did.
Besides the the dysfunction and the self-loathing that the family also has. The family wants to move, the family wants to even the nephew coming back home. He said something, it's something about the missing puzzle piece. I mean, he went on to try to be a successful doctor, but he had to come back home and he had to get it together. He had to find something, just a piece of the puzzle. And he found the piece of his puzzle to finally move forward. So that's another thing that I'm just trying to put it all together to make it make sense, to make this family successful, to make them all just find some kind of peace.
Wow. How long did it take you to write this book, this specific book? I know you mentioned 3 books, but we're going to go into that later. But how long did it take you to write this specific book?
I had so much fun writing this one. It took me about a year
Hmm.
to write it. And then when I finished writing, I said something is missing. So I said, oh, I have to go back and do it. So, the way we talk in Alabama, I had to go add that, we don't say November, we say November. We don't say thank you. We say thank ya and all of that. So I said I gotta add that Alabama country swag to it. So so they can really be be relatable, from where
Yeah.
it's from.
Oh,
So yeah, it took me about a year to write this one.
this is awesome. This is so awesome. And not to go into too much detail of the book, it's a huge responsibility when you take on somebody else's kid and family. It's such a huge responsibility. Not only a huge responsibility, but a good heart to actually stop your life to raise someone else's child. And I thought that was so deep and so interesting.
Yes, and yeah, not trying to give anything away, but there was a point where she thought she was about to repeat the same cycle, but the cycle has been broken, and she was getting ready to be content with it. She was getting ready to like, this is another part of my life, and Darlene's a strong woman, but it was just only so much that she could take. So I was happy for her. When I wrote it, I said, we got to get her out of here. We got to let her stand up finally, even against her own mother. And that's another thing that people do in families. I'm the mom. So it goes like this and it goes like this. It's true to a certain extent, but then you have the babies of the family, like Ruth, she's the baby sister. So she felt like she could say anything she want to say and she'll be protected, you know. So sometimes we throw our weight around and we totally forget about other people's feelings and where their position is in life. So this is for like people who just felt like they just been ignored their whole entire life, haven't been appreciated as
Mhm.
much as they need to be appreciated and think they're being loved, but they're being loved in the wrong way. Even with chaos, there was a point when the mother left to go on vacation and the house was quiet because Ruth and her mom have always arguing. And it was like, okay, so it's peace in the house, so this is weird. It's weird not to argue. It's weird not to have chaos. They got used to that dysfunction, but that's the way they had. That was their relationship. Their relationship was abusive, although they loved each other, although they were the splitting images of each other. But it still wasn't. It wasn't healthy at all. The relationship was not healthy at all. So it's just not normal.
One thing I've realized, some people do not know how to function when there's no drama.
Right.
They was raised in drama. They have relationship drama, friendship drama, soulmate drama. So anything that is not drama, that has no drama in it, they don't know how.
How to take it.
They don't. And it's so sad. And a lot of people are living like that now. And it's just sad because you're basically living a toxic life. You don't have to have drama in everything. Not everything
Right.
has to be crazy. Not everything has to be a fight. It's normal not to live, you know. It's a
Right.
normal life. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's a very normal life, to live a good, healthy life in everything, relationship, friendship, business. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. It has to be chaos, has to be drama. And a lot of it stems from childhood. That's how they function as a
Mm-hmm.
family, that's how they function as a whole. And then the bad part about that is they bring that trauma into someone else's life. That's why I've always said, one of my favorite quotes is, I'm raising my children to not harm your child. And I hope that your child don't harm mine from the trauma or that they was raised in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot going on. A
Yes.
lot of stuff was not addressed from childhood. And now you're adult and don't know how to deal with a lot of things.
Mm. Yeah, these characters are grown. I think Darlene is like 56 and Ruth is like 48, and it's still that child in them. That even Ronnie's like 40. He's just that child still in them begging to like, what is going on? Like, why is it like this? Why can't we got this big family that's wasting away, and it's just we got to get it together.
Right. You know what? It's so funny. I knew someone, personally, that would not get into a relationship because they were so hurt from a previous relationship that was over 20 years ago. A lot of
Mm.
people don't know how to let go, release, because a lot of letting go, release, it's healing. It's healing. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. So let me ask you a question. Your book, Alabama Sunrise, where can it be purchased?
It could be purchased on websites, Amazon.com. It could be purchased on BooksAMillion.com. Also, LegacyBookBar.com. I believe that's all right now that I can think of. But Legacy Book Bar, Books a Million, and Amazon.com. Those are the main three.
Okay. Let's talk about the children book that you're currently working on.
Yes, the children's book is actually completed as well. See, I wrote Alabama Sunrise and the children's novel, The Item I Stormed, at the same time because it was a whole different ball game. So I was able to just put that aside and put my child mind like on as well. But like I have to just, it's about a child 10 years old family had to move from up north to Alabama again.
We just have a whole Alabama theme, a whole Alabama setting.
We just got to do it. And he finds in his new school, he discovers a gift unwillingly. Jojo gets into a lot of trouble and he has to sign up for an elective. Well, the only elective that is available for him since he got in trouble at school is to sign up for dance. And he did everything he could in his power not to dance, although he was a great dancer. And so it was through what he did not want to do, the very gift that he did not like, that he took for granted, which gave him peace when his family seemed like he was about to lose everything, when he was being bullied, when it seemed like everything was just going, when his mom was being sick. So he found his strength through dancing. And that's what the book is about. Like, don't be afraid of your gift. Whatever God has given you, do it and do it to the best of your ability. Everything happens for a reason. And he meets a friend, his best friend named Tank. His best friend ended up in a wheelchair. And he was scared to tell his best friend, like, hey, I got to sign up for dance. And his best friend said, well, I used to dance. That was something that I used to love. And so that made him feel better. So he did it for himself, he did it for his friends, and he did it for his destiny, because the book carries on to when he gets an adult.
Now, let me ask you, the name of the book is The Eye of My Storm?
The Eye to My Storms, yes.
Okay. What made you name the book like this?
Oh, because he goes through a lot. And that eye to his storm was the dance.
No.
That's what kept his mind level, his young mind level. He's 10 years old, outspoken, gets his nose into everybody's business, but a friendly kid. And I think Jojo Ferris is his name. I think he's definitely a household name. I really do. He's enjoyable.
Nice. What age group is this book for?
I would say, even though I always say that this is more like a family novel. I had people old like myself who read the book and enjoyed it. So I would say 10 and up.
Yeah.
This is even for adults. It really is.
I think I'm going to purchase it. Is it available for purchase now?
Yes, it's available on Amazon.
Okay. Is it only on Amazon to purchase at this time?
That was only on Amazon at this time. Alabama Sunrise took like a whole leap. But I have to back up. I can't forget about the Out of My Storm. But yes, and it's being used actually in South Carolina a lot in one of those nonprofits from someone who picked up the book. So they're reading it as well in another state that I have not visited. I'm ready for this COVID to be over with so I can visit you, Miss Sharon, and everybody else in the world.
I think the world is waiting for all of this to be over with, you know?
To be over.
Yeah.
Yeah, my books are in places I've never been. Praise God.
You know what? Same thing here. I have books in Fiji. My book is in Ghana. My book is all over the world. And I'm so thankful and blessed for that also. Now, your third book, what is the name of the third book?
That was the first one I wrote, Unbreakable Bond. It released in 2013. And that's available on Amazon only as well. I did that one about two teens, trying to get their lives together, graduate from high school, trying to graduate despite everything that's going around them. Spread some positivity in the youth, everybody ain't trying to gang bang. They're not trying to do that. They're just their best friends trying to keep their heads together in the gang. So right. I enjoyed that one as well. That was my first when they came out.
Unbreakable Bond.
Unbreakable Bond, yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. That is awesome. And you mentioned you wrote that in 2013?
2013.
Wow, congratulations on all three of your books.
Thank you.
I pray and I hope one day you'll be a New York best-selling author.
Right.
Anything is possible.
Right.
Anything is possible.
I know, and I took the reason why it happened, because to be honest, when 2013 when I wrote the book or whatever, I just now got confident in my writing, in my gift. I've just not started really believing in myself. And that's when things really start happening. Like all of a suddenly, I'm like, okay, well, I got this now. I'm starting to believe like I can be like James Baldwin and I can be like the other people in the world. So I have my belief now. So anybody watching this, like whatever you do, like once you have that belief, it's gonna make a whole different ball game for you. And that's just what's happening for me.
There's a shift. There's a shift in the universe towards you. Whenever you start believing in yourself,
Mhm.
there's a shift in your life. Everything's around you shift. And that I believe that would happen to you because you believed in yourself. And that's why you wrote 3 books. And I'm quite sure you're going to be working on more.
Yes. Yes, I'm working on one now. And I get an attitude when I don't write. I'm like, I haven't wrote today. I haven't wrote in a week. Something wrong. My mood down. So it's therapeutic for me. It is saving me. It is keeping me through this COVID. It's keeping me through a lot of stuff. So I thank God for my gift. Because
Right.
I tell you,
So let me ask you, what advice would you give a new author that's trying to write, that get writer's block, because we all do, that get frustrated? What advice would you give them?
my advice is just to write from your heart. Don't put it in a box. Um, Whatever that comes to mind, just write. That's the quickest way to get over things. It may not make sense then, but it's gonna come back later and it's gonna make sense. So just believe in yourself first. You have to believe in what you write. You know, if you think it's bad, it may not be as bad as you think it is. You know, it's just put yourself in someone else's shoes. That's what I do a lot when I write. I put myself in other people's shoes
Mhm.
and find out the reason why you're writing. What's the purpose? When I wrote The Art of My Storm, like what was the purpose? What did I want to achieve? And focus on what you want to achieve. When I wrote Alabama Sunrise, I focused on what I wanted to achieve. Even now, I mean, you look at the world is crazy. You could pick
Yes.
up, to me, I can pick up I can pick up a whole story just looking at a picture. I can pick up a story just hearing someone at the coffee shop. So stories are always around us. And sometimes when you have writer's block, which does happen, it's because you're too busy thinking inside the box. It's some things that can happen, a knock at the door, which is a stranger, a bad dream, a good dream, just something simple. I think when it comes to writing, the take your time to smell the roses, that really counts. Because a lot of times we overlook the big pictures of things, why this person is a pastor, why this person is a teacher. Everybody has a why behind them, and it's up to you to put it out, create it, and do it. I think that this is just a huge step, in the writing process. I think of it as me being a therapist in a way. I'm not face to face towards you. I'm not talking about your problem, but you pick up Alabama Sunrise, you pick up The Out of My Storm. That's therapeutic right there. That's therapy for to the masses in a story. So it's always somebody that you can always relate to. When I wrote Alabama Sunrise and I asked people who was your favorite character, I think I asked 3 people and they gave me 3 different names. So and they say, I think I know this person, and that what makes confident, makes you confident in your gift. It confirms that there's a reason why you wrote it. It is nothing like that confirmation, like, oh, I laughed, I cried, they hit all the mark that you want to hit. There's everything to an art. Like, I hope they laugh at this part. I hope they, be shocked at this part. And when you get that confirmation, it's everything. So for writers, just do it. That's the only way you'll find out. And you're gonna, because I look at Unbreakable Bond, my first book, I'm like, it's nothing compared to The Out of My Storm, The Alabama Sunrise. But I believe every author, every artist is going to feel that way. They're going to look, because you're getting better and better and better. I plan for my next book to be better than Alabama Sunrise. I plan for the next book after the next book to be better than that before. So the key is to get started, to get feedback, to accept criticism or whatever that it may be. But it's your dream, and don't live your life as if what could have happened. That's worse than a definite no. I would rather live my life with a definite no than a what if. A definite no means you can change the game. If it ain't working, change the game, find something else to do. But then that what if, living life in what if and dying what if, what if you wrote that book? What if you wrote that song? That is the worst thing that you can possibly do. I tell you, do not live in the what if. I got out the what if, I got out the box. I'm ready to, after this COVID stuff over with, I'm ready to do whatever it takes because I'm more afraid than the what if than the no.
That is so true. A lot of people live in what if instead of just do it and let it unravel. Just go, just do what you need to do, and the universe will do its part. I'm a big believer with the universe, alignment, and everything else. And not only that, I'm going to add to that. A lot of new writers write because I used to be one of them, and I would edit a whole paragraph. It would take me a weeks after weeks, edit, rewrite, edit, rewrite. And so for 3 months, all I did was edit and rewrite. I didn't move forward.
Mhm.
That is why they have editors. They have everything you need for your book. Just write, write
Yes.
until you're completely done. Don't
Yes.
worry about editing because a lot of people also get stuck beside writer's block. They get stuck at editing. They have to
Yeah.
edit everything they do.
I found that out myself. Like I would go back to chapter one and try to start editing when I could have been wrote 2 3 chapters and move forward. But I learned, teamwork makes the dream work. You find a good editor, one solid good editor, you got it made.
Yes, that is so true. It is so true. And just getting out there and being able to work with one solid person on everything and you start building your team. So let me ask you, what is the name of your website?
Website is in the work, Gerald D. Johnson, GoDaddy.com. It's on GoDaddy. It's in the works. It is in the works. So you can look me up on Facebook though, Arthur G.D. Johnson, which I use it pretty often. So I'm using that one while the website is in works.
Are you also on Twitter and Instagram?
Yes, Instagram, my name is Gerald Dramedy, at Gerald Dramedy. Twitter, my name is G Dramedy, at G Dramedy.
Okay. Can you spell G Dramedy for the audience, please?
Yes, GDRAMEDY.
Ladies and gentlemen, you could meet up with author Gerald Johnson on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And are you on LinkedIn also?
I'm also on LinkedIn, Gerald Johnson on LinkedIn, Gerald D. Johnson on LinkedIn.
So going forward now, beside the book, are you thinking about adding anything else to your resume?
I really want to write the plays. I really want to start writing the stage plays. I've started off actually trying to do plays, but if you read my book, you can tell that I will introduce another character in a minute. So I don't know how 30 people on stage gonna look. So it's something like a whole Broadway going on. There's probably just too much going on. So I'm probably just gonna cut it down. But it's a challenge. I'm willing to challenge myself to do to start writing the plays as well, and maybe one day get into TV.
It's so much out there now that you could do and that you could experience. And I wish you so much of luck. You could do it. It's out there. Your book is awesome.
Thank you.
You're an awesome person. I'm so glad that we met. And I wish you continuous blessing in everything that you do. And I'm here if you need me for anything to help you with. If I don't know it, I'll guide you to the correct person. Because for me, I enjoy seeing people succeed. There's so much for everybody on top. There's no reason why it's me, 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 me. Your blessing come when you can help others. And a lot of people don't know that. And I love your book so much.
Thank you so much.
Do you have, I know that you were on a couple of interviews on radio show. Where can they see you on the next radio show or anything that's coming up anytime soon?
Well, just stay tuned to the websites. Not really sure. I think I have some things lined up, but I don't want to mention it and don't go through. Yeah, I actually owe someone because I had ended up going to work. Her name is Melina. I'm giving her a shout out. Legacy Book Bar. She's up in Baltimore, Maryland. She has an online website, www.legacybookbar.com, where she supports self-published Black authors. Her name is Melina. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. I owe her an interview. So hopefully I'm going to show this to her. So, it's like you said, it's power in unity.
Yes.
And I thank God for you, and I thank God for Melina as well. So y'all check her out, legacybookbar.com. I owe her an interview. You can follow her on Facebook. You can follow her on Instagram too. So I gave her a shout out too.
Melina, and I hope you hear this. Give you a shout out. As I always said, we work together, we do more together. And I thank you so much. And so Gerald Johnson, author Gerald Johnson, I just want to say thank you for being on Sharon King Worldwide Book Club. And I'm looking forward for your next book coming out. And everyone, I am Sharon May King, and I thank you for listening and tuning in to my book club with author Gerald D. Johnson. You could visit me at Sharon King Worldwide, and all my social media link is on my website. Gerald, I thank you and I appreciate you for being on my book show. Now, my book club. Now, let me ask you a question.
Okay. Girl.
What advice would you like to give the audience before you leave?
What advice I would like to give the audience? Stay true to yourself. Stay true to your dreams. Just know that fate is gonna work with faith. You can veer out to a whole lot of things. I've tried it, but I cannot get away from writing. So whatever gift that you have, don't fight it. Trust God in it. Trust the storm. Trust the nose. Trust the yes. Trust the nose more than the yes, because the yes is gonna outweigh the no. So that's my advice to you.
Oh, thank you so much for being on. Have a great day. We're logging
You
off.
too. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Goodbye.